Hi guys, how are you? I hope you guys are well. I have a message, a confirmation for maybe many of you guys. I feel like many of you guys may need to hear this. So I was speaking to God about something, a revelation that I received a few weeks back. And when I received this revelation, I was like, God, can I share it with everybody? And he said, yes, you can share it, but I will tell you when to share the revelation. I'll give you the right timing to share the revelation. I said, okay. So I actually forgot about the revelation. Like, it wasn't on my mind. I wasn't eager to post it or anything like that, because it was something that was my revelation. So I'm like, you know what? When it's time for God to bring it back to me, he'll bring it back to me. And it just so happened the revelation came back to me not too long ago. But here's how it happened. I was completely fine, completely good. And then, as you guys know, those who have prophetic gifts and who have the gift to feel, we can feel when someone's sad, we can feel when someone's angry, we can feel the emotions of people. And sometimes God will show us the emotions of specific people or how people are feeling to let us know, to let us feel how they feel, so we can have a better understanding as to what people are going through. So just now, I just felt this wave of like sadness come in. And then I heard the Lord say, cheer up, my child. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And then the revelation came back to me. And I was like, someone's prophecy. So then everything just started clicking, right? And then God gave me the full message for you guys. And he said he wants me to use my little testimony or revelation as like an analogy to help you guys. So I'm going to say this, okay? Many of you guys, or whoever this is for, you've been feeling extremely down. You've been feeling really, really sad. And a lot of the reason why you've been feeling sad is because you're wondering when your prophecy is going to happen. You're wondering when God is going to bless you, or when God is going to remove specific things from you, or when God is going to give you like a breakthrough or break, and you're wondering, okay, I understand that in this life we got to fight the war. We are soldiers of the Lord. I had to come up to that revelation too the other day. I'm like, I'm a soldier of the Lord. I'm going to accept it, But some of you guys are just tired. You're like, I want to win. I want to be happy. I want to break through. And a lot of you guys, God has given you a specific prophecy or prophecies. And many of you guys are like, okay, God, when is it going to happen? What's going to happen? I want to explain something to you. I know you're sad. I know you're probably down. And I know that the time frame is sometimes annoying, and sometimes it can really get to you, and it can bring up waves of emotions and stuff. But I want to mention something, a revelation God gave me. So when I was on my trip, I decided to go mountain climbing, right? Like trekking kind of thing. And the mountain was very steep. Like, it was no easy mountain. We had no ropes to help us climb. We literally had to climb with our legs, and so there were times where we even had to crawl with our hands and use our hands to grip the stones, or grip the stones of the mountain, and pull ourselves up. And it wasn't no joke. It was very, very hard. In the beginning, it was easy because we were just walking on dirt, but once we got into the actual mountain and we started climbing rocks, it got really, really hard. And I remember when I was climbing the rocks, I literally started to hear the Holy Spirit's voice, and he was just saying he kept saying focus on my voice. Because what was happening is, as I was climbing, it was a 3-hour climb, and as I was climbing, my legs started to burn, my arms started to burn, because now I'm using my hands to pull my body weight up, and my legs were starting to burn. And even though I go to the gym and stuff like that, right, it's like 3 hours, 3-hour climb. It's like people work out for probably an hour. So 3 hours, that was really tough, right? So as I kept climbing, I heard the Holy Spirit say, focus on my voice, focus on my voice. So I was focusing on the Holy Spirit's voice, and he kept telling me, be calm, don't think about yourself climbing, don't think about yourself doing it right now. He said, just focus in the moment, focus on my voice, and focus on when you get to the finish line. Focus on how it's going to feel when you get to see the end result. Focus on the fact that you're moving forward and all of that. So he was whispering all that to me. And then he started talking to me about the revelation. And then he said, don't look back. And I said, what do you mean don't look back? He said, don't look down. And then, I did look down. I looked down and I saw how far I came, because as I looked down, it was dark outside. So as I looked down, I started seeing the flashlights of all the other people that were following us, and it went all the way down because there was a line of people following us, right? And I was like, whoa, look how far I came. So it was kind of positive that I looked down just to see. But then I also felt overwhelmed, because I was like, wow, I'm like literally high up right now as well. And it's dark and we have no ropes, holding us, so I can fall at any time. So I started to panic as well. And then he said, I told you not to look down. Don't look down again. I said, okay, I'm not going to look down again. So as he said, keep focusing on my voice, I kept focusing on his voice. And he said, stop focusing on how much your legs are burning. Stop focusing on how much your arms are burning. Stop focusing on trying to catch your breath. He said, just focus on climbing and just focus in the moment. And then as I was listening to him, I noticed that my legs weren't burning anymore. I noticed that my arms weren't burning anymore. And I noticed that I was able to breathe properly. And, when I was focusing in the moment, it was kind of like I felt at ease, right? And I didn't even realize that I was actually consistently climbing without feeling the burns and all that, like without actually like paying attention to it. Like I'm actually doing it without actually paying too much attention to it now, right? So then there was a time where he said focus on my voice, and then I ended up looking up to see how far I had to go. And when he told me not to do that, but I disobeyed. I just did it anyways, not because I wanted to disobey. It was something that happened accidentally, where I just looked up to see how I stopped, took a breath, and then looked up, and I'm like, oh shoot, I wasn't supposed to look up, but I ended up looking up. And when I saw how far I still had to go, because there was people with flashlights all the way at the top, I got overwhelmed again, because it made me feel discouraged, because I'm like, yeah, I came far, but I still have a long way to go. Then the Lord came through again after my break, and he said, I told you not to look up, and I told you not to look down. I told you to just stay in the moment. And I said, okay, God, I'm going to stay in the moment. I'm not going to look up again. I'm not going to look down again. And as I started to climb, he started talking to me. And my legs weren't burning. My arms weren't burning anymore. And I just kept going. And it's because he kept talking to me. I wasn't paying attention to my legs and my arms for me to know it was burning. I just kept going, right? And he said to me, do you see how when you looked back and saw how far you came, it made you feel happy, but at the same time it overwhelmed you? And I was like, yeah. Then he said, do you see how you looked up and see how far you still had to go, and that overwhelmed you? And I said, yeah, it made me want to quit. He said, this is how prophecies work. He said, when I give you guys prophecies, I give you guys prophecies so you have something to look forward to. Okay, so we know that we have something to look forward to, but he doesn't give us prophecies for us to consistently be watching the time frame, to consistently be how much longer do we have to go to get here, to consistently be doing that. That brings us anxiety. He gives us prophecy so we have something to look forward to, but he wants us to also focus on him and focus on in the moment. When you're focusing on in the moment and you're not focusing on when you're going to get to your prophecy, when it's going to happen for you, how it's going to happen, and the big details, etc., you're not going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to realize, wow, when you focus in the moment, you're not going to pay attention to how far you have to go to get to your prophecy, because when you're focused in the moment, you'll just end up getting there. See, when you also look back at your past and what you've been through, it's a positive thing, but it can also overwhelm you, because there's going to also be that fear sometimes of going backwards, right? So that can also be, it's positive, but it can also be overwhelming. God said he wants us to live in the moment and just hold on to the end all be all outcome, the promise he has for us, like as in we have something to look forward to, but not to focus too much on how, when, and whatever. Because let me tell you something, when I was focused in the moment, guess what? And I stopped looking at the top, looking at the bottom. I just kept looking at the ground. I kept climbing and listening to God's voice. I made it to the top without even realizing I made it to the top. And when I made it to the top, I literally almost cried. I was like, wow, I did it, because I was focused in the moment. It's the same thing with prophecies. Okay, so this is a confirmation for someone. Focus on in the moment and just continue following the instructions, doing what God needs you to do, and you'll get there when you get there. Okay, love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.